Hi. Yesterday I had a channeler through a message and say about manifestation that I had wished for years ago. And I was thinking about it, and I can't remember what I did last week, let alone years ago. So I was like, okay, just thought, oh, just let it go. He'll come to me when it comes to me. And this morning I was getting ready and I was channeling through, and I was hearing, can you see how far you've come? Look at you. Truly look in the mirror and look at you. Look at all you've let go of. Look at how you're feeling within yourself. How do you feel now? Look, you've decided to love yourself. You've decided to choose yourself. You're pouring into yourself in a way you've only ever dreamt of. And you've done that. And in that moment, it dawned on me, oh my gosh, that's the manifestation. Oh my gosh, years, for so long I've longed to be that person that's content within themselves, that's at peace with themselves, that truly loves themselves, in not in an egotistical way, in a look at me, because you, in an authentic, real way. Because there's many out there that say, oh, I love myself, and you can tell when it's authentic and it's real, because there's a glow that is just, you can't fake that. And I know I've spent so much of my life seeing and witnessing other people, and you can see the real love and devotion they have for themselves, and the fact that they don't play the game that we're told is real, that they go against it and they really truly choose themselves. And it's not selfish, it's not delusional, it's the only way to be. And it's, oh gosh, and I've longed for that for so long, and I'm now living that. I'm experiencing that, and it is the most beautiful, peaceful, empowering, grounded feeling that you can feel at being at peace with yourself and really loving yourself for all, literally the good, the bad, the everything, and accepting it, and knowing that you went through all those past versions to get to where you are now, and it was all part of you, designed it to be that way. And that's when it comes to realizing that that's why I'm feeling the childlike wonder and seeing the world from a child's point of view, because from young we're programmed to believe that that's not, well, that's taken away from us. Illusions are then programmed into us of fear and lack and not feeling good enough and judgment and shame and envy and comparison and all, those horrible things that we're taught that are normal, and it's all to control us. And it's so incredibly freeing to know that I have done the inner work. And you're never fully healed, you're always going to be healing, but I have done that amount of healing to release all the traumas, all the experiences, all the things that I've placed such shame on myself, and all those illusions and all the guilt and everything, and relationships and choices I've made. I've let go, and I've made peace with it with so much love and gratitude. And through doing that, I have come back to my 0 point, which is wiping the slate clean. And they say it's about being reborn, and it truly is, because when you do that and you go back to your 0 point and you are completely at peace and at ease and you're comfortable and you've come home to yourself, you do see the world as a child did, and how we all should, before all the programming was installed and everything else was told that it was real. You come back to that. I've come back to that. I am back to the true raw truth of me. I am me. That I've let all of the shit go. And it's allowed me, and it's allowed my inner child to finally feel safe. She feels that I've protected her now, that I've poured into us, I've poured into her so that she feels safe, that she can come out. And that is why I feel the love and the joy, and I don't see all the negative and lack in the world, because I'm not programming from that. I'm a far higher frequency now, because I've done the inner shadow work, I've allowed, and I've trusted my angels, I've trusted everything, the way I've been divinely led to let go, and just know deep within myself that everything that I've let go of, I know so deep that I needed to let go of that. And through doing that, through letting it go, through grieving, through purging, through letting what wants to come out of my body needs to come out. So all that density and all the yuck and gunk and ugh, that I've been storing so deep in my vessel has been freed. And through that, I've come back to myself. I've come back to my 0 point, and my inner child feels safe to come out. And that is why I feel free. I feel I've come home to myself. I feel love and peace and so comfortable within myself. And I honestly, it's like a child. You just don't care what people think. You don't care if you're doing something silly, and you don't care, because you're a kid. You're not meant to. You're meant to be living free. But that's how we all should be feeling. And this is what's happening. People are awakening to this, and I know that I'm here to help you through your awakening. I know I'm here to be a lighthouse for you. I'm here as living proof of doing that deep, shitty inner work that I have put off my whole life, which obviously I wasn't ready. I know it came to me while I was in the shower. I've had so many times, and it's come that I had to try. My angels, my guides, they were showing me red flags. They were telling me, look, you can follow us, please listen to what we're saying. And no matter how, basically you designed it to be experiencing that, but your human is the one that navigates it. So if your human isn't ready to let that go, you would just keep going, and that cycle would just go round and round. And I know for a fact that's how long, and I've been in a cycle for far longer than I should have been, because I was locked in and I wasn't ready. And even last year, there was a time at the end of the year when my awakening was happening, and there was a time that I should have ended my relationship, I know, but I still wasn't quite ready. And that's not wrong. There's no wrong or right. It's just, no matter what, if I'd chosen to stay like I chose to stay, it got to a point where my angels were giving me so many downloads and memories of the relationship, really, and how I was just living in survival the whole time. And that's just not any way to live. And that's not to put blame on my ex-partner. That was choices that I made too, and we both had lessons to learn together. But I just knew at that time it had to end. I just knew so deep in me, however much it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, because I was still so in love with him. He wasn't making it. I didn't feel content. I didn't feel seen. I didn't feel understood, and that wasn't his fault. That's not his. It's just that we weren't in alignment anymore. And my path was changing, and how I was seeing the world was changing, and it's just... But my angels brought me all of that, but I had a choice. I didn't have to go down that. I could have carried on and gone, no, I love him. We're going to work through this. We're going to stay. And I could have continued. But ultimately, even if it was 5, it's 10, whatever years down the line, I finally get, the outcome's still going to be the same. It's the inevitable is going to happen. I programmed it to be. I designed it to be that way, that was purely meant to be a lesson. And it was never meant to be forever for me and him, however much I longed for that. But I got to a point where I just needed to let go. But every human has the right, it's free will, to choose if you want to stay. But ultimately, whether it be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, the outcome's still going to be the same. But you're just going to have to go through those same lessons over and over, which is what I've done. I did it the hard way, but that's how I chose. I wanted to have a freaking challenge, and my God, did I. But through that, I've been able to free myself. I've been able to free the illusions, the matrix. I've been able to free myself from all of it and come back to myself, come home to myself, come home to my 0 point, come home and let my inner child come out and be free. And I know, and it's, even if you're not experiencing a spiritual awakening, I know that I am here to empower the divine feminine. I am. I just feel it so deep. You know, even if, and the human, you know, it's all good and well, them saying, oh, you can just step away, you can, you know, it's free will, you can choose. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. But obviously, humans have the responsibilities of work and paying the bills. And so if there's not a chance and there's not a choice for you right now to be stepping away from a work or things, there are tiny, weeny, micro moves that you can make that starts rewiring your brain and starts showing to the universe that, hold on, they're actually changing how they're thinking. You know, even when your soul is screaming at you not to do something, if someone's asked you to do something and your mind is telling you, yeah, you better do it, you know, it's the right thing to do, you need to help them, yet your soul and something inside of you is screaming, oh, don't do it, you know, I don't want to do it. When you actually change that and you break that loop of what you would have done and what your brain thinks you should do, and you go, actually, no, I don't want to do it. It's those tiny micro moves that make such a big difference. And if you keep following that, and you keep following that deep feeling of what you feel pulled to and what you don't, and you follow those calls and you follow those cues instead of letting your mind lead, and you start letting your soul lead, and that inner knowing and that inner feeling inside of you, you are rewiring your brain and you are rewiring your nervous system to know that it's safe. And those things become a lot more natural, and the more you do it and the more you say no to things and yes to things that you feel excited about, even if before you're, oh, I can't do that, what's stopping you? Yes, I know there's finances, but there's things that you can do that don't cost. You know, taking the time for yourself, deciding to go for a walk by yourself if you can have your kids, or, you know, just the tiny small things, by choosing yourself and putting and pouring into yourself, even in those micro moments, you're showing to the universe that, oh, hold up, they're actually pouring into themselves. And when that happens, things that you didn't even realize that you needed or you really wanted come trickling into your reality. And I see it, I'm seeing it all the time. I'm not, and it's only when I stand back and I think about it, I think, my gosh, the amount of things, like, I have spent so long in such a lack mindset, and that's how I programmed it. But I'd get, and it would start getting good, and then bam, the shoe would drop, and oh, here we go again. And that was a cycle that I was stuck in. But it's getting to that point of when you're pouring into yourself and you're choosing yourself in teeny tiny moves and ways, the universe sees, and slowly you will have little manifestations that you didn't even, or you don't even remember, that come in, and you're like, oh my gosh, that makes life that little bit lighter and a little bit easier. And it's those moments, and that's why I know I'm here to not just be here for ones that are on awakening, which I know that is a big part, but and also part I know is, the other part is to be here to empower the divine feminine, to give you the power and the strength within you to start choosing yourself, start loving yourself in those tiny little moments, because those moments, the more you do it, the more it builds up, and the more your brain then starts clicking in, actually, this is normal, okay, this feels comfortable, and it becomes normal. And so you're not constantly battling, and your brain's not battling with you, you should have done that, that's wrong, you know, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. and I'm witnessing this now. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't completely go. That's how it is. But it's, oh my gosh, the silence that I have a lot of the time in my head now is just, oh, that in itself is just so powerful and beautiful. Because for someone that has been an extreme overthinker, and I have a very vivid imagination, and although that can be amazing, and that's helped me get to where I am and helped with manifestations, I didn't even realize that I was I can manifest very easily. So I have visuals and I have visions, and I can very easily visualize things in my mind, and that's really easy. And I thought everyone felt like that and could do that, but they can't, and that's one of my gifts, and and that's lovely. And for me, that's, it's fascinating when you truly start living from your 0 point, at just how things flow to you and through you so easy. And when I keep saying it's just easy just to be you, it's so true. When you've done that work and you're making those moves to show in the universe that, no, I am pouring into myself, I am choosing myself, even in tiny weeny ways. They see it all. The universe, your angels, they all see it, and they see that your mindset, and it starts slowly changing, and it's just, and in those moments you can start feeling and loving life a little bit more, because we're all in such a rat race of life, and it's just get up, take the kids to school, go to work, come home, do dinner, and it's just not how it's meant. And yes, being a human, that's part of the human experience, and we chose to come here and experience that, because there's many souls that can't, and that would love to be able to experience this, and we take it for granted. And that's not, it's because we're so unawakened and we've been dimmed to believe that that's just how life is, and it really isn't. There's so much more, and we're so powerful all in our own way. And there's ones that are going to come and not awaken, and that's their journey here, and that's great, and they're living their life and they're happy. But then there's ones that I know that I am going to resonate with, and they're going to feel pulled to me for whatever reason and understand what I'm saying, because their soul came here to be a part of the great awakening. Whether it's first, second, third wave, it doesn't matter. You're here for a reason, for a purpose, and when you awaken to that purpose, he's coming home. You feel, and everything that you've experienced in your life starts making sense to you in a way that you could never imagine before. And it's just, it's beautiful. And I just want more of you to feel it. And I want to empower so many more of you, because I was that one that was just so lost in herself, so lost. And I don't want people, the dark side of so much. There's so much, and there's so much to me that I know that I've experienced, and I know that I've experienced to that extreme. Obviously there's people that experience, but I know the things that I have experienced has been for a reason, because I know through that, in whatever way, I can help be there for people that have experienced the same. Like my menopause journey, gosh, I think that for me, amongst all the other trauma and shit that I hadn't dealt with, it was like the catalyst for me and my depression, extreme anxiety, like crippling anxiety, having like out of body experiences like I was having. It was really scary, and I was so scared, and it was just the most lonely, dark time. And I actually thought at one point I was dying. There were so many things going on with my body. I was changing, I was hit, it was just heart palpitations, my sinuses, I had constant severe headaches. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you the list of things that I was experiencing. And I know I needed to experience it, because I can be someone that can help, and I'm not an expert, far from it, but because I've experienced, and I'm experiencing through that, ways of being able to help control that, being ways. And that I was very against medication like HRT and antidepressants, but in all reality it got so bad for me. I needed that help, and it's helped me immensely, and it's brought me, not fully, but I've started to feel like myself again, but nothing has quite done it. My awakening that has, yeah, I'm so at peace within myself and the choices that I've made, and knowing and accepting and really cutting cords with things that I know that I can't go back. I will never be able to go back there. However much I still care and love, those people, I can't, our journey together is, and we'll always, especially my ex-partner, we'll always be a part of each other's lives because our 3 gorgeous boys, but I could never do that to myself again, because he will always be a trigger for me. However much I've done the work and I can try to convince myself that I'd be okay, no, I wouldn't do that to myself. I lost myself so much, and I will never let myself be lost again. And that's what I want others and other women and other men to know, that it's not wrong to really choose yourself and respect yourself and love yourself and pour into yourself. Because how can that be wrong? I'm not talking about neglecting your responsibilities as a human, as a parent, and everything else. It's not about that, but it is about those micro moves, really starting to, when your head is saying yes, you should do something, in your mind and your body and your heart and soul are saying, or something deep in you is just saying, oh, don't listen to it, and doing it. And that in itself, you're starting to choose yourself, and you're starting to pour into yourself, and those little things will make a big difference along the way. But yeah, I'm just so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful that I can sit here and I can share me with all of you without fear of all the things and all the illusions that I would have felt 6 months ago. Like, I stopped myself from going onto social media and wanting to help and doing different things because I hadn't, done any of the inner work. I was so afraid to be seen because of the past versions I've been of myself, of when I've had my addictions. When I was younger, and before, I would have never been able to sit here and speak so openly about the fact that I stole so much money from my friends and family. I was the most selfish, self-centered person you could possibly be. And at the time, it was just, for so long, I struggled with that. Why did I have to be that person? And I designed it to be that way. I had to experience that really dark road, or path. I could have gone down, I had 2 paths, and I could have gone down the light, but I decided to go down the dark. But for that, we all have dark and light in us, and some stay in the darkness, and some, and a lot of us, like myself, I have equal dark and light. But I just decide now to move from my light. I'm so full of love and light and passion for people and empathy, and just that desire to just want everyone to feel the way I'm feeling. But I did choose a dark path, I did. And I remember my mum and dad, and I was always so, oh my gosh, and that's where it was an addiction. And it wasn't really known back then as an addiction. And there wasn't really much help for that. And I don't even know, I know there is now, but I don't even know what it is they would call it, but it was. And when I was going through my awakening, I understood all the past versions, but apart from that one. What lessons, what on earth did anyone learn, and did I learn from me being that version? Hurting all those people, stealing from friends and family and people that I was meant to, like, who the hell, how on earth was that helpful? What did I learn? And I sat with that for a while, and I remember cleaning, and it came to me, it was a form of addiction. And I remember when I was younger, I'd forgotten that my mum and dad took me to see the doctor, and they said it is a form of addiction, but there's not really much help out there now for them unless you paid, and obviously we weren't in a position of that. And but now I understand it was part, everyone that I had experiences with that, with me, through that, they chose to. We all have soul contracts, and we choose the experiences, and every person that I had experiences with through that past version of me chose to experience that with me for whatever reason their soul needed. And so that's something that I've been able to come at peace with. And it's not, but I designed it to be that way, and I'm not that person. I haven't been that person for many, many years now, and I'm proud of that, and I had to really build up trust in people again, and that's why trust has been such a big thing for me, because I had to work really hard. And people say leopards never change their spots. Well, I'm living proof that they can, and they do. And if you want it that bad, and you do the inner work, and you do the shadow work, and you get to the core root of all of it, you can. And that's why I've been through and I've experienced, and I made it a challenge, because I'm here to be relatable to so many people. Because I have had the most normal upbringing. We struggled financially. We still had an amazing childhood. I wouldn't take it back at all. Living life, going to the park, even just going to the park, playing outside on a bike, just having fun. And the memories I have of family, or, you can't buy that. And money doesn't, yes, it helps, but yeah, I'm just so grateful that I'm at this stage, that I've been able to awaken, and I've been able to come back to me fully. And through that, and through all my experiences I chose to experience here, I can help others. Show that you can feel the worst about yourself, and that you've been through the worst, and you've been the worst person that you could possibly be. You can, if you're willing to do the work, and you want to be moving into the light, and you want to be, and all you have is love and light and joy, and to be sharing with the world and yourself and the people around you, then you can do it. You can achieve it. Anyone can achieve it, really, unless you're working through complete dark and you've just come here to be darkness, and that, yeah, that's a whole another thing. But no, I'm just at peace with myself. I'm at peace with the choices I've made throughout my life and my past versions, and that's beautiful, because they all got me to who I am now. And if I hadn't been that, I wouldn't be able to sit here and speak to you as I am, and I wouldn't be able to share you this and share with you and just be me and prove to so many people it's being you and turning up in the most authentic version of you just being you and being seen. Your mind can say that all these bad things are going to happen, but they won't. Your mind puts all the fear of, actually doing it is a lot. Like when you actually go and do it, it's like, why was I so afraid of doing that? Like, this is just the most natural thing for me. And it always has been. And yeah, I love making other people. I just want everyone to feel the way I'm feeling. I want everyone to really love and pour into themselves in the most beautiful, authentic way. Because it's undeniable when you do that, you just glow. There's just a glow about people that truly do that. And it's just, something about them is just, I don't know, it's divine. Yeah. Anyway, that's my little thing for today. I hope you have a really good Friday, and I'll catch you soon.